Am I misreading something, or are you accusing me of being some kind of Chris Jericho ripoff with your pals on Twitter?
No, see, it's a different Bebe.
I'm sorry?
Different different inflection there.
I don't even know that I say this, by the way.
I think you say I don't know. I believe what they were saying. I just don't recall it.
Oh, you say it a lot. I notice you say it a lot. I didn't realize you've been ripping me off this whole time.
No, I've been ripping off Adam Cole, who's been ripping off Chris Jericho.
Oh, so you're saying you're the ripoff artist.
Yes. But I said that in the first tweet. I go, I am ripping someone off, but you got the wrong guy.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean?
I thought the accusation was lobbed at me. Like I'm somehow, because if there's anything I don't know, it's wrestling. All I know of Chris Jericho is he got very angry at Jim Norton for making a Christopher Reeves joke once.
Oh my god, it's one of my favorite fucking clips.
It's very uncomfortable because they just keep doing it.
I know. As soon as he says, "Come on, don't say that," he's like, and then he says it immediately. I was like,
It's funny though, I don't know anything about Chris. I don't know why we're talking about Chris Jericho. It's an odd way to start this show, but I'll give him credit. You could tell he was pissed off, but like that's kind of the way you handle it. He's like, "Hey, I don't like that you're saying that," and by the end, they were. I think they're still friendly to this day, as far as I know.
I think they're actually pretty good buddies.
Yeah, like I don't know if they hang out, but like when he's on the show, they always seem friendly. So
Yeah, I think if they're ever in the same town, I think they actually do meet up. Like it evolves.
Jericho's a good guy.
Yeah,
He's a good guy for Craig to rip off.
yeah.
All right. Well, now that that's squared away, I am. By the way, I may be distracted throughout the day, as there's a much better podcast I'll be on tomorrow. I mean, that's always the case on Tuesdays, but tomorrow I'm very excited. So tune in for that.
I want to know so bad.
I refuse. I'm telling you, it's not to oversell it, but it's funny. You'll find it funny. It's funnier than me just telling you would be listening to it on the show.
No, I know. I just enjoy the we went from on Monday to no, Cullinane's not going anywhere to go in Saco.
Well, we'll see. Who knows?
Before we move on real quick,
please.
I read this as a joke, but did you have an issue with me, or were you just fucking around on Monday?
What are we talking about?
You said that you look at me the way that Kirk's looking at Dave currently.
Oh no, Quantum Week Chris said that. I just agreed wholeheartedly.
Okay. I thought you said that on Monday. I was like, what did
I said Chris made an excellent point. No, I would say the similarity that does annoy me, and I don't think it annoys me to the same extent, but I see you palling around with people on Twitter, and sometimes I think I take it out of context, but I do see hey guys, Mike's the real piece of shit here. I'm one of you guys,
I talk like that?
It's implied. Well, we'll get into it in a bit. I think we'll get into why I perceive things one way and just lose my fucking mind about them. But I'm willing to admit I'm not blameless in this.
To be fair to me, before I came here, I talk to everyone I see, so that's not a new
it's very
thing.
Annoying.
Yeah, probably is. Yeah.
Oh, I guess if we're airing grievances, I suppose my other complaint would be, but I think I've said this on the show before.
Probably.
It seems a lot of times like you're very focused on the comments rather than what I'm saying.
Right. I'm actively trying to get better at that.
I understand it gets a little tedious, but you have to at least pretend you're interested in what I'm saying. That's the job.
Oh, I know. That one is very fair.
Yes. Sometimes I'm talking and I'm like, well, been at the end of my sentence here for a few minutes.
Yeah, my favorite part is when I hear you stop and I go, yeah, shit.
Are they ever that interesting, these people? I do enjoy the gearheads.
When I get lost, it's when all of a sudden there's like 20 and I'm like, fuck, what's happening or something, and I'm trying to figure it out, but usually it's them just fucking with each other.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious what they'll think of today because I have a brief story to tell. As I promised on Twitter. Ooh, juicy gossip. But first I want to tell you guys about our friends at twotours.com. I've perfected it. Twotours.com. If you are a fan of the cannabis, federally legal hemp, that is, then go to twotours.com. Check out everything they've got. I've told you before, that if you ever worry about like the taste of weed or anything like that, these guys got you covered. Particularly, I like the Delta 8 gummies and the disposable vapes. But go to twotours.com, peruse their selection, and see what might be good for you. It was started by a couple of Afghanistan veterans, which, hey, those are good guys to support right now. Dealing with anxiety, much like I do. They started growing their own federally legalized hemp and distributing it in the Middle Tennessee area. They do have retail stores as well if you are in Middle Tennessee. But if you use promo code Mike at checkout, then you not only get 10% off your order, but free shipping. Someone actually messaged me today and said, "Hey, Mike, thanks. I didn't realize you get free shipping as well." Open your ears, pal. Free shipping. Very important, because I hate nothing more than getting to the end of my order and realize it's like, why is this $20 more than the average? It doesn't make any sense to me. They nail you right up the ass with shipping. But not here at twotours.com, my friends. So make sure you use promo code Mike, M-I-K-E, that's my name, at checkout, and get 10% off.
I was like, this is an ad. What do I do?
Yeah, I do think you'd be a fan of the gummies. You should, if you haven't tried those yet, you should.
Oh, I'm gonna.
So
can't sleep. Need them to sleep.
So I promised a story. I teased a story on Twitter. I told you before the show. How underwhelming would you say this is?
Very.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
So
if this has been like a long going thing that you've seen, maybe it'll be a bigger deal for people, but
I guess that's the thing is I don't know if anyone will care or know what I'm talking about. So I'm probably making this a bigger deal just by drawing any attention to it. But it's something that's annoyed me for a while, and so I was just like, all right, whatever, let's just do it, get it out of the way. So I told a story yesterday that I probably shouldn't have told because I wasn't there for. I was just thinking it would be a funny story. It didn't come off that way. And I don't think the people that were involved were very happy. So one of those people said on Twitter today, "Well, how about we tell the story of what really happened with Mike in Madawaska?" And I thought, oh no, he's got me by the short hairs, which I mock that now, but that is how I felt for a long time. I let this, it caused me a lot of anxiety. And in fact, this is one of the things where when I realized like I was melting down because people were saying this, I realized like, okay, you're not handling things well. You need to take a step back and figure out how to handle your own shit, you know? So this was one of the catalysts there, I would say. So what I believe this guy is referring to, unless now I did, as always, Sonny says, I did brown out that evening, so I have fleeting memories. But I've also pieced it together through my own, personal interviews with people that were there. So maybe there is a child somewhere dead in the woods of Madawaska that is at my hands. But to my knowledge, I believe this is the story that the guy's referring to. So late into the night at Madawaska, as you guys may have heard, I was shit-faced, acting like a real buffoon there that night. And later in the night, I was canoodling with a young lady. That's what if the tabloids, if the paparazzi caught us, that's what they'd say. They'd say the two were seen canoodling at a hot Madawaska late night spot.
The only one.
Yeah. So that was, oh, well, no, I'm sorry. Let me tell the full story. So that was happening. We're very friendly, you could say. And then Justin, I believe, saw like, okay, this guy's shit-faced. This could go down a bad road, as I have a girlfriend. And he got me the fuck out of there. And I went and slept in the same room as Justin and the Warthog. So that's the story. So there is a contingency of people. There's a small segment of people that I guess, and I could see why this would be funny as a listener of other podcasts myself. So I can see why people would find this funny. Like, hey, won't Mike get annoyed if we make it seem like something more than it is, or like it was really, I would say on a 4th grade scale, I probably did commit adultery. I'm a horrible, but this is something I told Alba in greater detail. And she was like, okay. Like it wasn't that big a deal in my life, which to be fair, I thought it would be. I thought it would be a bigger deal than it was. And when I told Alba I was going to talk about it today, she was like, can you send along one message for me? And that would be, why do these people give a fuck? Which is always true, because even with like serious things, like I remember saying this when KFC got into his shit back in the day. I was like, well, yeah, that's a horrible thing for his family to find out.
Yeah.
But why would these people give a fuck?
I find myself asking that a lot.
Why? You know what I mean? Like, why is that something that? So, I get it being, a salacious bit of gossip, and who am I, a gossipy Gertie myself? I love a little gossip, a little hot goss, as the kids say. But what I didn't like about it was the guy that said this using it as if it was going to be some attack. Like, I'm going to hold this over your head. Like, oh, I bet Mike wouldn't like if this ever came out. It's like, okay, mother, just say it then. There's a big difference between blurting something out and then going, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, and methodically saying, oh, yeah, well, how about I tell this story, which from my perspective will ruin your life? It's like, okay, you got revenge, but that seems a little worse, a little more sinister.
Yeah, I don't even... If that's it, then blown out of proportion, I would say.
I think so. Now, I did ask, I asked the Warthog, and he said, I believe you also that evening fell up some stairs. Now, if that is true, guilty as charged. In fact, if footage of that came out and that like people would start coming forward with their stories, and then the next thing you would hear, like if falling up the stairs was a felony, you'd hear like Mike Geary is facing 400 counts for 9 lifetimes in prison of falling up the stairs while shit-faced. That's happened once or twice in my day.
What is the rumor, if that's the story?
The rumor is that I cheated on my girlfriend, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's what they would get me with.
How dare you?
I know. I'm a bad man.
There was, you were a big-time player on Saturday. Same thing happened, actually. I saw it.
Yeah, I gave hugs to a lot of people. That is true. Yeah, men and of all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to ask yourselves what happened between me, Justin, and the Warthog when we got back, that's a private matter between 3 gentlemen.
You fell asleep in the bathtub and shit in it?
Listen,
that happened to me.
Get off on is their business. I've always said that.
That happened to me once.
So what, are people saying anything in the comments? Because maybe I'm missing something, and I'm happy to answer questions. But odds are they don't even know what I'm talking about.
People are asking which Madawaska, so I don't think it's
obviously the first one.
It was 3 weeks ago.
Well, it's also hilarious. Like I just did this dead sober. I'm like, yeah, no, it was a couple weeks ago, and
So how do you with the drinking thing? How you feeling? Do you think you actually have a problem, or were you just like going through?
Well, so that's what obviously that was the catalyst for a lot of things, and my whole thing is, and I've said, and I would assume like people in AA or any sort of or people that got sober in general will probably tell me that I'm like being naive or something, but I believe this to be true. So when I say like pretty much I only drink seltzers now. The reason that is because like, not because like, oh, well, I found a new way to get shit-faced. It's that like I realized drinking hard alcohol and drinking to excess, that's not the only time I've behaved like that, but it's the only time I noticed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've never done it on a podcast, so I was never thinking like, oh, fuck, this is what people think of me when I get like this.
Because I think if you actually had like a booze problem, right, you couldn't like when we went out to Laugh Boston, you had a couple seltzers.
Right.
That would have been I don't know, a couple like a dozen maybe. If
yeah, right. Like yeah, I would have been tugging at your belt for more.
Hey, I can't see. Can you please go get me some?
Yeah, right. No, exactly. So that's my thing where I don't think I'm an alcoholic in the sense that I can, like you said, have a couple drinks at Laugh Boston and go home and go to sleep.
Yeah.
So people may say it's like a cop out, but I almost think of it as me saying I'm an alcoholic would be like taking their how am I trying to phrase this? It's putting something on me, like a struggle on me that I don't have. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
not sitting in a room with booze shaking, thinking, I just wish I could, you know what I mean? So I don't go through that, which is why I don't think I have the same problem.
Now,
My problem is more I can't handle my shit, I
now
can't
how
handle a few whiskeys.
yeah, how much of Kirk giving you shit for drinking at the show, did any of that play into you making yourself think you had a problem?
No, like I said, it made me kind of realize how I behave.
Okay.
And I thought I would, like, at the time I thought I was like, a couple beers will be fine. Old Mikey knows how to hang. Like that's what I thought I was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why when I did Mike and the Minifans, it'd be I'd have a couple beers. But then I think when it's you get to hard alcohol or X number of beers, that's when the slurring starts to come out.
Yeah, that was a long day. Like I completely understand why he was mad, obviously.
Right.
But I just didn't know if just him being pissed off about it like changed the way you thought about it, maybe. I don't know if
No, I think it was kind of a kick in the ass that I needed,
Okay. Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, anything else that these people have?
Those were my questions. I don't see any in the chat.
I'm outing myself for a crime nobody cares about. So yeah, it's just the tone of it bothered me. Like,
Good
hey,
question.
we're gonna out you for this.
Chef Lewis asked, how many times, if any, did you listen back to that podcast?
Oh, never. You out of your mind?
Just the clips?
Yeah. just when I had to.
And you're like, oh God.
Oof. Ugh.
See, when I listen, you know what's funny is I listened to that show and I didn't really think anything of it until the next show.
Yeah, so I remember like repeating myself a lot and shit like that, which
well, when it was pointed out, I could definitely see
right, and just imagine talking to me, or imagine. I mean, you've been in a room with drunks before. You know how frustrating it is if you're sober talking to a fucking drunk. You know what I mean? It's infuriating.
Yeah, I got an Irish family, so I might just be used to hearing people talk like that. So I wasn't thinking anything of it. I was like, sounds like Uncle Henry.
Yeah, but that's the thing I hate is like, oh yeah, motherfucker, guess what I'm going to expose about you? It's like, okay, we'll do it.
Stacy's phone asked, what is canoodling? I think you answered that, but I'm not positive.
Like I said, it was it would have the front page news on all the big 4th grade papers.
Yeah, I'd
be some hand holding, a smooch on the cheek, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, TMZ uses that fucking word all the time, don't they?
I think that's why I said it. Yeah,
I think
they were getting cozy with each other.
Yeah,
I know how John Mulaney feels now. You know.
You got some like weird nymphomaniac side piece now.
The press. It's all the press. All right. Well, now that salacious bit of gossip is out of the way, and you can, feel free to ask questions if you want, but I want to get to one of the great moments in late night broadcasting history, I think.
Oh God, yeah.
You say this is good.
I
purposely did not watch it. I told you about it yesterday and then said, maybe I shouldn't.
Define good.
Well, good for our purposes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then I will let you guide us. Start from wherever you'd like.
I'm just starting it from the top.
Okay. So those of you that don't know, I'll give Jimmy Kimmel credit for this. So most late night shows go into reruns when the host is on vacation, which is a lot in the summer. Which it's like, I don't know, who wants to watch monologue jokes from 6 weeks ago? Never mind, who wants to watch monologue jokes now? But even like in the days of Carson, like, would you want to watch topical jokes from February? You know?
Sure.
So I'll give Kimmel credit. He has guest hosts throughout the summer and everything. And this was an interesting choice. I guess they stayed in the ABC family. It would be one Screamin' A. Smith of First Take on ESPN. Which did you hear the news about First Take, by the way?
With Kellerman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the fact that Stephen A. doesn't sound like he gives a shit.
Well, I suspect it was Stephen A.'s call.
Oh, definitely.
Because you don't just willingly leave their most popular show. I mean, it's odd that their most popular show is on at like 11 a.m. or 10 a.m., whatever it is.
Real quick, RW Andrew, just so we don't forget.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Afghanistan comic that died. Did you see that story?
Just so we don't forget. Yes, I did. I like that. That's a guy that goes down with the ship.
That was incredible.
That's you think I respect comedy.
No shit.
You tell me to stop with the knock knock jokes. I'm like, you got it, boss. If you're in the Taliban. But that guy is going down with the ship. Unbelievable. I mean,
he's just
probably a poor decision, but
killing out jokes as he's getting dragged into a cell.
Did you hear the one about the woman that didn't wear a face mask?
Did you hear the one about women's rights?
He's like, that's the joke. They're like, all right, wise guy.
You get it? And then the leader's like, I kind of like this guy.
All right, not bad, but we're going to kill you.
He goes, I kind of like this guy. Quick death.
Yeah, no, that is pretty crazy.
I don't know what else to say, but I just wanted to say it before we blew past it.
Well, very good. Yeah, no, I saw that, but I didn't have anything to say about it either.
Yeah.
If it was one of my guys, I'd be ranting about cancel culture right now,
Blind
you can't even joke about the Taliban without getting beheaded. What is this bullshit?
Blind podcast host, very racist, does not like Afghani comic.
I've just never heard his comedy. I'm sure I would love it.
I don't think you'd understand what he was saying, Mike.
No, I think I'd be a big fan. In spirit.
You know a few words, right? Is that the same language? I don't even never mind.
No.
As soon as I said
She's Muslim, not Afghani.
As soon as I said it, I went, that's not right. Wrong. I don't know. You'll hear me have a very Mike Harris-esque delivery when I went, how about like he knows it's dying as it's taken off.
Yes. Is Albanian the same gobbledygook they speak over there?
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah. So, well, we were talking about Max Kellerman.
Yes.
I don't think you just leave that show and go do radio.
Nah,
he's on AM
gonna,
stations across the Midwest with Keyshawn Johnson.
He's gonna do like HBO boxing and shit, probably.
Well, he already does that, doesn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I know he did boxing for years. I guess it would make sense if ESPN didn't let him keep doing that, but I don't know. I haven't paid attention enough to boxing lately. But yeah, I think Stephen A. was like, I'm sick of this fucking guy.
If he got what do you get? 4 years, 70 million, Stephen A.
I know it's like 12 million a year or something. I didn't see the amount of years.
How much is Kellerman getting then, if that's the case?
I would think a lot less.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
I want to know like the pay discrepancy.
Did you see the press release though?
No.
So they said Max Kellerman will be moving to a different position. I think this was before the radio thing was announced.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, and on First Take will be a rotating cast of verbal sparring partners for Stephen A.
How badly does Stephen A. hate him that he's like, I don't give a fuck who's sitting in that seat.
Just rotate some interns. Just bring the camera guy on. Just anyone.
Give me current Stuart Scott, please. Anyone.
I'm trying to. The mind is spinning, thinking of other sick or dead ESPN anchors.
What's her face? Yeah. That Maria Taylor is probably rumored to get this job too.
It's too bad she left too soon.
She got rid of Rachel Nichols and Max Kellerman. That's all that was left. And then she disappears.
You know, I always this would be a funny day to do this, to just throw out an accusation about Max Kellerman.
I would love to. I don't like him at all.
I always think there's some accusation against Max Kellerman, but
Actually,
I can never find it.
you've brought that up before.
I know. I always say it too.
We were talking, and you're like, I'm pretty sure there's something disgusting in this guy's past. And I was
Look
like,
it up
really?
now. Look up.
Yeah. Let's
Look up Max Kellerman wife or girlfriend.
Boyfriend. Kellerman.
And yes, folks, I see the irony of doing this
wife.
10 minutes after ranting and raving about it. Yes, I understand.
Let's see. You'd think that would pop up right away, right?
I would think so, yeah. So if it doesn't, then I'm absolving Max Kellerman of all misdeeds.
Max Kellerman scandal, maybe?
Sure.
I'm gonna find one, buddy.
I don't want to tell you what I want you to search. That will make it instantly come up.
Oh, you were right.
I thought so. What do we got?
What were you gonna say now that it is true?
Gets a little handsy?
Yes.
Okay.
ESPN host Max Kellerman suspended for domestic abuse.
I thought so. Yeah, okay. I thought so. Now again, who know? I don't know how serious that was.
I'm gonna try to.
But I did think there was something like that.
He was at a college party. They both had too much to drink. Kellerman said while he was trying to get things under control, his girlfriend slapped him, and he slapped her back. Bullshit.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's called self-defense, buddy. As shitty as it looks, I don't think that would actually play in court if that was all it was.
Well, I don't think it did. I don't think he got charged with anything. I mean, convicted of anything.
Oh, I thought he did.
No, just said suspended from ESPN, right?
Oh, maybe it is true.
Yeah.
So I guess he hits like Floyd Mayweather.
Listen.
Literally and figuratively.
Again, after my story today, I think I should say that Max Kellerman is probably innocent. He's probably a man who's being threatened online by bullies.
Getting told to now look up Max Kellerman's brother from Sheldon in North Dakota. What is that going to
Oh, God. I can only imagine. Let's not sell his brother down the river for Christ's
Let's
sake.
sell him. We're going to sell him.
Oh, can I tell you while you're looking that up?
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell you the funniest part of that whole thing that I was talking about at Big Rick's? People reached out to me and said, hey, just so you know, the guy who's making those accusations, he wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, right.
He didn't see anything. So, I think if the guy's going through something, I certainly sympathize with him, because I've done the exact same type of thing where I fly off the handle on Twitter. And even today, I wished, like, after I tweeted that out, I was like, I probably didn't need to do that. I could have cooled down,
Holy
just
fuck.
waited. What do we got on Kellerman?
His brother was murdered?
Oh, no. Why would you have us look this up?
What the fuck, Sheldon? Oh, my God.
Oh, well, hey.
Someone named Butler.
Well, that's too
On
bad.
October 12, 2004, writer Sam Kellerman was killed in his apartment in Los Angeles. His body was not found until 5 days later.
Good Lord.
It was his friend for over 10 years. Holy fuck.
The guy that murdered him was his friend?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Sheldon says he's just trying to help you. Fuck, that had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Oh, man.
Pretty funny. I mean,
Well,
funny at all.
I think that's a natural segue. Here are the comedy stylings of Stephen A. Smith.
Welcome to Jimmy Kimmel Live. I am your guest host, Stephen A. Smith. Yeah. Now, you might recognize me from television or from the 10 billion memes of me floating around on the internet, okay? You've got confused, Stephen A. Check out Annoyed, Stephen A. And how about this one? I just found out I'm hosting Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen A.
Okay, so this is so far not funny, but like affable.
He gets
like he's being somewhat charming to the audience, I guess.
Yeah, there's a part this next little bit is just he brags about how awesome he is.
Right. Well, I was just gonna say, if you're having a guy on because of his name, but he still has to explain who he is,
Probably the wrong guy.
maybe just don't have him on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you were having him on for his comedic brilliance, then sure, bring on an unknown. But if you're having a guy solely because he's a name and his first line has to be, I'm Stephen A. Smith. You may know me from television.
Dude, he does that's coming up right now. I think it's right now. It is way more specific than that.
Okay.
He goes, you might know me from blah 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 blah.
Oh, he goes on with the we have to keep learning who he is?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
Now, very sad news to break to you. Just to start off the show, I'm very sorry to say this, but I'm only here for one night. But I do have good news. I've already lasted longer than the new host of Jeopardy. Okay?
Makes fun of misogyny, Stephen.
And all of this, and I got a lot of encouragement from my colleagues at ESPN. Had to throw that in there, okay? They even
skip this part.
The audience is like, "What are you talking about?"
Molly. I actually didn't feel any pressure at all until you said it like that.
Oh, goddamn ad!
He's been here since.
How many fucking ads are on this video?
You know what? I'll tell you to do this now. For our next ad, could you just go to the Patreon DMs to just make sure I have everything right?
Yes.
Thank you. A lot of behind the scenes talk here, guys. Guys are getting a glimpse into how the sausage is made.
Name I'm looking.
James, I think.
Got it.
Yep. Okay. Let's keep hearing from Stephen A. for a moment.
Boop, 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 boop. Shit. Excuse me. Tabs everywhere.
See, this is really, really exciting, a beautiful moment for me. I've got a TV show that's on in the morning, a TV show that's in the afternoon. I cover the NBA for ESPN.
He's still explaining who he is?
Roll
Yep.
on my favorite soap opera, General Hospital, right here on ABC. My character's name is Brick. I'm a
Wait,
surveillance.
is he on a soap opera?
He's apparently on General Hospital, and I did not have time to find it, but that's coming.
That's got to be awful.
It's got.
We might have to watch. We might have to watch the whole episode.
Yeah, it sounds like he. I think. Don't worry, he's going to actually explain right now exactly what he does on that show.
That's my twin brother, not me.
There's a screenshot for anyone watching. Look at this face.
I cheated on you with myself from the past. I had a severe brain injury that made me forget everything. I've got amnesia.
Sheldon says Stephen A. is the Black Greg Gutfeld.
If late night has gotten to the point where anyone can do it, why don't we just get rid of it?
You know what sucks? I fucking like Greg Gutfeld. I like him on the 5, and I always thought he was good on like Opie and Anthony.
Yeah, he is a funny newscaster.
Right.
He is an unfunny comedian.
Well, also to be fair, I don't think he writes those jokes.
No, that's the other problem. It's writers for Fox News, not fucking whatever.
You know it'd be funny? Smacking the just lawn guy with fucking money.
Oh, wouldn't that be gauche?
Oh yes. All those fucking Fox executives. Just beating the help with money.
Maybe because like Red Eye used to have comedians on and shit, so maybe there are some people like they do get some comedians, but it's also got to be tough to get writers in comedy that will put Fox News on their resume. You know what I mean? Like some people don't even want to be attached to that.
Yeah,
they don't want people. God forbid people think they're Republicans.
I think behind the scenes, people don't really care about that shit as much.
Oh, they don't care about it. But what I'm saying is, say, fucking Nikki Glazer writes for Greg Gutfeld's show, and her audience finds out about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, how could you?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. I thought you meant like if you went from Fox to work for CNN or something.
No, they wouldn't. CNN wouldn't care. But like, if you have an audience, that they will care for whatever reason.
Always care.
So yeah, evidently news anchors can now just host. Isn't Brian Williams doing it too?
Hosting
Fucking late
Kimmel?
night show? No, not Kimmel, but like something on MSNBC.
Shouldn't that guy just be thankful he has his fucking news show back?
Well, you would think, but he's a wacky character. He
Brian
was on
Wil-
30 Rock, remember?
Brian Williams is like, I'm currently stuck in Afghanistan. Like,
That'd be great. Did you see me fall off that plane?
I landed on my feet.
All right, let's hear more from Stephen A. Oh, but wait, how far in are we? What time are we at?
2 minutes.
We're 2 minutes in.
Yep. I skipped through his ESPN co-host just saying, oh, I bet he's nervous.
Okay, so we're 2 minutes in and we're still explaining who he is?
Yep.
Oh, terrific. Well, let's hear more, I guess.
My character's name is Brick. I'm a surveillance expert for the mob and mob boss Sonny Corinthos.
Oh, I like that.
And now here I am in late night, okay? It's 24 hours a day of Stephen A.
Okay, now let's pretend you and I are Jimmy Kimmel viewers.
Mm-hmm.
We're hanging around. I throw on ABC late at night. I'm getting very handsy with you, as I often do. And I throw on Stephen A in the background. And I think, well, who is this man? And in 4 seconds, I pull up Google, type his name, and instantly find out everything I need to know. So why spend minutes telling us who he is?
Because his voice is funny, Mike. Obviously.
I think he's got a very, either you know who he is or you don't. Like, get on or get the fuck out of the way, ABC audience.
I just pictured Joe Rogan turning on his favorite show, Kimmel, and being like, ugh, this fucking guy.
Imagine if Rogan guest host, how mad they'll be.
Oh, that would be so fucking funny. Please make that happen. That would be so fucking funny.
What do you guys think about aliens?
Guys, I'm gonna have Alex Jones and fucking what's his name? Elon Musk.
Candace Owens.
Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Elon Musk, some other lefty. It's gonna be real even, man.
Musical guest, the Dixie Chicks. I like that I'm a fucking 29-year-old that has 20-year-old references.
His background set is just Eddie Bravo choking people out.
Comedian Chris D'Elia.
This is where he rekindles his friendship with Diaz.
All right, now I just want to see how long Stephen A. Smith describes himself.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Diaz, someone remind us later to get to the Caparulo story.
I'm sure we'll get to it. Don't worry.
Crest. I'm coming for your ass. I'm coming for you. Now, of course, the best part of being here tonight is that I get to be in the presence of the GOAT himself, the one and only. Yeah, Mo, what's going on, man?
Yeah, how are you doing?
That's it.
So now we've moved on to explaining the rest of the show that the audience should already know.
Exactly.
How are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great, fantastic.
You feel good about me being here?
Yeah, I'm happy you're hosting the show.
Am I doing okay thus far?
So far, so good.
Is it okay that Jimmy Kimmel I'm just asking this from a 2021 perspective. Is it okay that Jimmy Kimmel employs a guy whose entire gimmick is this guy has an accent?
This dude is very cliche something.
Doesn't this guy sound silly when he talks? That's your woke hero, Jimmy Kimmel. And I don't hate Jimmy Kimmel as much as a lot of people do.
Mhm.
Like, hey, you sold out. You want to be friends with famous people, whatever. Like, I didn't have the respect for Jimmy Kimmel that I did for like Howard Stern. So his fall from grace doesn't, upset me as much. But it is weird to be the guy who's like crying, because Trump said something mean on national television and be like, doesn't this guy sound like an idiot? Huh? Foreigners, am I right?
Sorry, I was taking a sip of water as you said that.
Like, that's a guy, if you don't know the story behind Guillermo, I think he was like he just worked at the studio. He was security or something like that.
Is that it?
And they gave him a job on the show because he talks funny.
Well, if that's the case, kind of good for Kimmel for just giving a dude. Imagine,
100%.
hey, hun, I'll see you later. I'm going to. I think what are you, a custodian? You said, or am I just being racist? That could be.
I said security, but I could just be being racist. He could have been the fucking boss there. I don't know.
No, he was sleeping on the job, is what you're telling me. So
I know. I didn't say that. What I said was he could be CEO of ABC for all I know.
But imagine being like, yeah, honey, I'm just hates his life, got his lunchbox. He's like, I'm going to work. See ya.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm now on a nationally televised show. We can move out of this town.
And there's a couple episodes of 30 Rock where they just needed someone to play a janitor. And they used this guy, Subas, who is actually the janitor at 30 Rockefeller Plaza.
Wow.
And one of the episodes he's like a big part of.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. I love stories like that.
Real road to glory, Guillermo's. Is there any more to this, or are we just watching Stephen A. introduce himself for 9 more minutes?
Yeah, I mean, like that's all I wanted to hear you say was him list off his credentials to the crowd.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine then. Like I said, I'm sure he's no worse than anyone else in late night right now. But it's like, again, if you're getting someone because maybe this is gonna get eyeballs on us, it's like, well, then he shouldn't have to recite his resume, for Christ's sake. It's very weird.
Like Matt Damon being like, I was in Goodwill Hunting. Just goes up and just starts listing them off. I have certain proclivity to use words that aren't looked fondly upon.
Also, I'm trying to think, has it ever worked the transition from like ESPN to wacky commentator on news or late night host? Or like, I'm thinking of Craig Kilborn, who like was the original host of the Daily Show.
Yep.
That didn't last long. And then he hosted the Late Late Show, which I don't think lasted that long either. Maybe he was there longer than I realize.
I don't know.
But in my day, it was Craig Ferguson.
Right. Me too.
So I wouldn't consider Craig Kilborn this great success. And then Oberman is the other one I think of, who's a colossal failure.
Fuck him.
I can't think of anyone else that's like, oh, you know what? Robin Roberts, I guess, would be successful at that. He's on Good Morning America now or something. And Brian Gumbel. I don't know if he was on ESPN, but sports to.
Yeah, but he even on sports though, he always came across like a news broadcaster.
Yeah.
There was just never anything to him ever.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone that, like you can tell Van Pelt, who I like Van Pelt and Butchie Gross, they seem like decent guys.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell they're kind of hoping that the comedy world comes calling.
I think Van Pelt would be all right.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're using the bar of current late night, I think you're right.
You're talking about him doing like actually
yeah, I'm saying transition from ESPN to now you're like a mainstream guy.
Oh, he could definitely do it.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'd be any worse than Colbert, but
he'd be way better.
Yeah.
I don't think he's always pretty down the middle and he's just fun to watch kind of out of
Colbert apologized, by the way, to the Milwaukee Brewers audience, I think. Crowd.
For what?
I guess he made fun of Milwaukee. I think he did it like tongue in cheek, but it's like, Jesus, Steven. The funny thing would be to go there and double down and make fun of Milwaukee again.
Why? It's so depressing that he's become such a pussy.
I know. The Colbert Report was hilarious.
I thought it was better than Daily Show.
Is it? Do you think it's possible now for... Was Kirk talking about this?
I don't know what you're about to say.
I'm trying to think. I heard someone talking about this recently. If there was a down the middle political comedy show, like the Daily Show, but you don't necessarily know what the guy's politics are, do you think that would do well?
Yes.
I wonder, because I do too. Like, I would find it funny.
I'm just dying. I want that would be fun for a comedy show like that, but I would also like just a regular news channel like that. Or at least
I guess people don't want it. I mean, they haven't tried it in a long time.
And Crossfire was the last thing.
There's Crossfire and was Combs supposed to be a liberal on Hannity and Combs?
Well,
Alan Combs?
the 5 kind of does it on Fox. I don't know if you
Yeah,
ever
not
watched.
really though. They're libertarian. The furthest left they'll go is libertarian, I think.
No. This dude Juan Williams is like psychotic.
Oh, right. He's supposed to be.
He's a psychotic left. They have like libertarians, Republicans, and then like a psycho left guy.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give
So,
you that
like,
one.
So like I'll watch that show and I'll be like, I'll listen to him, and if he makes sense to me, then I'm like, okay, there's probably truth here. But sometimes he says shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking?
Yeah, I would like it. I just don't think we're the audience that they want. You know what I mean? Because like we would probably watch it pretty casually.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're extreme one side or the other, then you have the diehards and some casual. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's the thing too. Is like I'll talk to some people who watch that show because I just know they watch. I'm like, I wrote something to talk about, and I'll bring up Juan Williams or something, and they're like, that fucking guy doesn't know anything.
Well, that's what makes me think he's good at his job. I don't know a lot about him, but
He's very good.
Assuming he's.
Well, he says shit so ridiculous sometimes. I think he's just purposely pissing people off and doesn't believe what's coming out of his mouth.
Well, if he's a liberal on Fox, I would assume that's the case. Yeah.
Like, I haven't really watched news since I used to like sit down and watch it every day.
Is it just me or was news better with old Donnie?
Oh, it was the best. But I haven't watched since I think like 2 months into COVID. Really.
Yeah.
I just kind of read articles now because I just can't. It's just
It's enough already. It's exhausting.
I'm like done with it.
Speaking of which, though, I sent you this. I don't care to spend a ton of time on it, but since it kind of fits what we're talking about, I guess I'll give credit to Alex Jones, although I don't think he really had a choice to go. Like he kind of had to go against Trump on this one, right?
I don't know.
I just thought Trump's vaccine. I think I agree with I'm sure there are Republicans calling Trump a pussy.
Mm-hmm.
He's right. He should have just said, "Get the vaccine. It's fine. No big deal."
I mean, yeah. I think Alex Jones will say whatever's on his mind. So,
well, let's see. Let's see what the boys say. Let's play with.
You got to do what you have to do, but I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines, but no. That's okay. That's all right.
God, I miss him.
You got your freedoms, but I happen to take the vaccine. If it doesn't work, you'll be the first to know. Okay. I'll call up Alabama.
When did he pick that inflection? He didn't always do that. I don't think.
Well, I think he did. When you saw him on what's that show?
The Apprentice?
Yeah. He was always very stern. He had to be very stern.
More laid back. Yeah, I guess that's the same, oddly enough, on Stern. Like on Howard Stern, he was never getting wacky or animated, really.
Yeah. So this is
that's true. I guess we've just never seen him get that animated.
Trump is the #1 comic in America.
Easily. Yeah, I think so.
He is so fucking funny.
Because he doesn't give a fuck.
Right. And even if you don't agree with what he says, I don't know how you can't find it funny.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Shane Gillis's joke.
Was it Shane? I was trying to think. Was it Shane Gillis?
He's like, can we just fucking admit now that Trump was funny?
We got to agree. He's funny. Like, he's funny to watch. I don't know why people got so angry at him, but
I was when he starts telling that joke, I'm like, where's he gonna go with this? And he's like, yeah, there's a storm coming in, and he's like, well, I could nuke it.
Yeah. If people looked at Trump for what he was, he never would have gotten elected.
Right.
Like if liberals laughed at him, like, oh, that's funny. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of in on the joke a little bit.
Yeah.
Like even just say like, I mean, I think he's wrong on this, but that's hilarious. You know, if they did a little more of that, I don't think Trump ever would have won.
If he goes, hey, if this doesn't work, you'll be the first ones I call. I'll be the first to tell you. To know. I'll call Alabama and say, hey, look, didn't work.
Like he's gonna call. Imagine just the phone ring one day.
Yeah,
Craig, it's Donald Trump. Just wanted you to know, swing and a miss on the old vaccine.
Hey, little Mikey. Yeah, I got accused of being the Trump caller this weekend, by the way.
Oh no! Well, just consider that it's very well done, and that should dissuade any.
I was like, that's not me.
So, what did Alex Jones say about this blasphemy?
Keep going.
But it is working.
BS. Trump, that's a lie. You're not stupid. Just 2 weeks ago, they said it was 65%, then 40%. Saw a number put up about Pfizer shots, 30-something%. Because they just want to tell you it doesn't work, so you run and get the new damn shot. And then they'll tell you in 6 months that one doesn't work. It's called rope-a-dope. Shame on you, Trump. Seriously. Hey.
So I actually kind of agree with Alex Jones.
I
But
100%
where I disagree with him is like I don't think there's a sinister plot behind it. I just think it's the fact that like the variants change. These weren't as tested as thoroughly as we thought they were. So shit changes because it's just been guesswork. So in 6 months we'll find out that people have been getting it despite taking the vaccine. I mean, we're already finding that out, but
I mostly agree with Alex Jones in this.
that's what I'm saying. Like I mostly agree with him. Where I stray from him is I think he thinks, that they're poisoning us.
Yeah,
As some sort of master plan.
I don't think that. I think they're poisoning our brains. Is what I think. They're just trying. They're just
done with television and smut like this.
Smut like this. Mike's being overly nice to Craig. ...
Am I?
I have no fucking idea. Explain yourself, Mr. Rogerio's neighborhood. Funny name.
What a name.
Funny name.
I like that
Explain.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what he means. I feel I've insulted you properly today.
I get insulted all the time.
Hey, asshole. How's that?
Sorry.
Hey, loser.
God, I'm sorry.
Is that better? Does that even it out a little bit? Oh, you know what I did want to talk about before we sign off here? I don't even know why I brought up Alex Jones.
We're not signing off yet because you got an ad to do right now.
Oh, I sure do, Craig. That's an excellent point.
Fuck.
And that's producing, folks.
Yeah, I like that, Mr. Rogerio's neighborhood.
All right, guys. Well, I should tell you to check out this podcast, The New Sons of Liberty, where you can get anywhere you get your podcasts. It is a libertarian-based podcast by listeners of this program. So support gearheads that support this show. These guys, it's a smaller podcast, and they're looking for a little more listenership. So if you thought the political rant that we just did was horseshit, and you want guys that actually seem to know what they're talking about, then check out The New Sons of Liberty, who they just had I think they told me they just had an Afghanistan veteran on to talk about some of the stuff that's been going on lately, which is very interesting. Did he make any other notes in the I don't want to miss anything here with The New Sons of Liberty podcast, which you guys should check out.
No, they have no social media other than word of mouth.
So help them spread the word if you like what you hear.
Go join the revolution at the New Sons of Liberty podcast.
Oh yes, he did tell me that was like their I don't know if I subscribe to taglines, but I like it. It's short enough that I can get behind it. Go join the revolution.
As I sit here quietly.
Yes, but no, definitely check them out if you like a little political talk, especially if you lean more libertarian like I do. Check out the New Sons of Liberty, which you're listening to a podcast right now, so it's very easy to go over and subscribe to them as well.
Yes. If you want to record your own podcast, where can people do that, Mike?
Oh, well, of course, Vaulted Podcast in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Hit up our guy, Matt from Rhode Island, on Twitter, @Matt from RI. He also does a podcast called The Average Nobodies, and he does it out of Vaulted Podcast. So if you want to do a podcast, better quality than this, and rumor has it we may be recording there at some point.
I was just going to say, I'm pretty positive that is a go. I'm just getting a date.
You folks could be sitting in the same seats as these boys you see before you. Isn't that just worth the price of admission?
Yeah.
So check out Vaulted Podcast if you want to record your podcast as well.
Certain people that live near there can go in after I record and smell my seat if they want,
Yes. Yeah, why not? All right. What I did want to talk about, to polish things off here, did you see the Barstool story I sent you? The great Rear Admiral, my pal?
Yeah, I did.
I knew it was going to happen. I just knew it. But is there ever a point where we say, like, all right, enough? Or do we just keep letting it happen bit by bit?
I've been trying to figure out exactly what was such a problem.
with that episode.
Yeah.
So if you guys didn't see, Rear Admiral did a good job the other day. And I think other people have been talking about it. But Comedy Central. So Rear Admiral said that he was watching The Office, and he realized he caught it at a good time because Comedy Central plays it in order.
Mhm.
And he saw that the pilot for The Office was like the first episode was on. And he goes, "Oh shit, I'll get to watch season 1." And he sat there through a couple episodes and then realized they skip the Diversity Day episode, which a lot of people call the best episode of The Office.
It's great.
Like it's unanimously people say that's where they started to find their groove. So it's not just one of the better episodes, it's one that people specifically point to say this is where they separated themselves from the British Office and became their own show. Like this is the first time you really laughed at the show. So Comedy Central stopped running Diversity Day. Rear Admiral found it a little odd, and I give him credit. Reached out to figure out why the hell they were doing that, and they gave him an answer, I think. I don't know if you saw that part.
Maybe I missed that part. Why they took it out? Oh, yeah.
So they referred to, he said it was more than the typical customer service answer. And evidently they referenced the fact that Michael Scott does a Chris Rock impression.
Yeah, it was Chris Rock impression, and then what the fuck is it?
Maybe the Indian impression as well.
Yeah, and I think there was a bunch of gay jokes. Michael Scott imitating Chris Rock as people tuning into the TV comment, we're going to suddenly send them into the streets. Christ.
Well, we don't need to read Rear Admiral's work.
I thought he listed them all off like right in a row.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there was the Chris Rock impression there, which I don't get. There was he like basically forced what's the gay dude's name?
Oscar.
To kiss him.
so first of all, if you don't know the plot of that episode, Michael Scott does Chris Rock bit black people versus N-words. So the entire point of Michael Scott doing that is that in the episode, Michael doesn't understand why he can't do it because he's impersonating Chris Rock. And everyone in the office is offended by it and is like, obviously you can't do this. And the point is that the last time he did it, he got in trouble for it. So not only is it, first of all, I don't think it's racist to show a white person impersonating Chris Rock. He didn't put on blackface, thank God, like Jimmy Fallon. But also,
did he actually say it in the episode?
No, they bleep it out.
Okay.
But the whole idea, I guess, is that he's doing the impersonation. But it's like, yeah, the joke is that he shouldn't do that. And they're taking that off of TV. And it won't be the last, by the way.
Andrew and John from Scranton are talking about how they got rid of a bunch of episodes of Sunny already.
Oh, I'm sure. Can I?
Exactly.
Venture a guess.
You know exactly which one it is.
When D is in complete blackface.
Well, that there's also the one when Charlie says there's hanging from the rafters. That whole episode.
Oh yeah, and I'm assuming the Lethal Weapons, right?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Probably
gotta be one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, when is the point where we do say, because the argument is always like, oh, you're just mad you can't watch one episode of The Office. Like, no, I'm not really mad about it. But when do we eventually say like, hey, knock it off, you're being silly now? Or do we just go, oh, okay, these are the times, everything's changing? Like, Rear Admiral made an excellent point in the blog where he said, yes, times are changing. Things are different now than they used to be. But we are the only generation that has ever needed to be told that. Everyone else just knew it. You know what I mean? Like in the 70s, you wouldn't watch something from the 40s and be like, this isn't like it is now.
So I'm just assuming this is my white privilege, I guess. But I don't understand. I guess I do. Like if it's a comedy and someone's doing that, they're obviously not trying to offend anyone.
Well,
This is definitely white brain thoughts for sure.
no. You're wrong because Michael Scott is offending people.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like the whole point of the episode is that he's offensive.
No. I'm talking about just as the viewers watching it, knowing it's a comedy.
Right.
So even the Lethal Weapons, like
Right.
that. It's
but again, the Lethal Weapons. The point is, they talk about how it's offensive that Mac does blackface and Dennis doesn't do it for that reason.
right.
Like generally, only so one of the episodes of 30 Rock that they took down, there was blackface that was strictly because the person they were dressing up as was black. Jenna dressed up as Lynn Swan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess you could call that gratuitous, even though I think there was an obvious reason for it. But in these other episodes that we're talking about, the whole idea is that it's offensive. You know what I mean? Like you can use, I don't think you should be getting education from The Office and Always Sunny either way, but you could say if it's influencing minds, then it's influencing them in the right direction. It's like a teachable moment almost.
But it's kind of like when we watch Chappelle's show. I mean, I know it's. I'm going to clarify. I am well aware it's a different scale.
Right.
But if you watch Chappelle's show, and he's doing the white newscaster, clearly making fun of white people, did you ever go? Oh by golly!
No, because you know why? Because I don't think of myself as a stereotype, so I don't get offended by stereotypes. I mean, also I've never, I feel like you always have to say this. I've also never suffered the racism that other people have. I'm lucky that I'm white. I'm the devil and all of that. But my point is,
Mike, you're blind. God damn it!
I think if you get offended by stereotypes, that means you kind of see yourself as a stereotype, which maybe if you broke out of that, then you wouldn't be as offended by it. But that's just me.
I just want people. Can the chat please just fire off white jokes like those? Those jokes you don't tell in front of anybody anymore. Just fire white versions. I've always been curious what the other.
I don't think we have many.
Yeah.
We smell like wet dog. That's a stereotype I've heard before.
Yeah. Oh, who said that? I think Bill Burr said that.
Oh, I don't know. I just saw it on like social media and shit.
I think Bill Burr said that on a special one time. He was trying to get the audience, like the black people in the audience, to like give him shit.
It's possible. I've never observed that one, but maybe I wouldn't.
My favorite. I was actually listening to Matt and Shane's Secret Pod. I think it was like a week or two ago. They had Lemaire Lee on, their old producer, who's a black guy, and Shane was like, "Yeah, the reason you guys don't have fun with like race jokes is like you just don't have any."
Yeah, right.
He goes, if you got some good ones, like you'd be like, "Oh, these are awesome."
Right. Yeah, that's and that's a hilarious point because that's the thing that people don't talk about with like race jokes is like sometimes it's just funny. Like it makes me laugh.
White people with their cracking ass ankles.
Ooh, I like that.
My ankle does crack.
I do crack my ankles all the time.
I like that. Keep those coming. Those are fucking funny.
Yeah, what other white stereotypes do we have? We got a lot of crackers, a lot of honkies back here.
John from Scranton says, "My parents love me."
Now that's I don't go for that type of humor. But that is a stereotype.
That is not funny.
No.
It's hilarious.
Very offensive.
Yeah, so that's what I meant.
Yeah, but I just thought so it's going to go to a place where even now I know I get a lot of shit for the cancel culture stuff, but even I'm like, all right, they're taking this one down. I guess we won't get to watch that. And they're like, it's so weird. The people that like go after these episodes and like go after Jenny Slate and shit like that. Like, oh, you just want to get away with saying it, or you want to get away with laughing at that. It's like, yeah, I guess, but I want to get away with saying everything.
By the way, moment of silence for Megyn Kelly for getting fired for doing exactly what we're doing now, asking questions.
I know. Yeah, luckily there's nowhere you can fire us. Except Patreon, I suppose.
Unless Patreon's got a mole.
Oh, let's hope not. You guys wouldn't rat us out, would you?
All those OnlyFans losers are going to be over here soon.
That's right. flooding the market.
We're just gonna start having glitchy fucking connections.
Just remember where you came from.
That's right.
I don't want to see you over there with the OnlyFans broads.
Guess what's at the $500 tier, by the way? We do the show naked.
Boy, is that titillating.
You know, someone would actually pay that just to embarrass us.
The kingdom of nakedness, like Scorch used to do. Yeah. So you know what? I'll throw something else. I don't ask the gearheads for a lot. I don't think I've ever asked them for anything. Well, I asked them for their money, I guess.
Yes.
Yes, I do that.
Actually, to be fair, you don't.
That's true. I say I don't bother. If you don't want to, don't bother.
I will say, if you're looking for input on the plugging of this program on the other program, gotten a lot better lately.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'm
because
glad you think
he
so.
asked you questions, I can hear you go, I don't know. Wait, yes, I do know.
I have some semblance of an answer. Yeah.
It always takes a second. Wait, I do know.
Yeah.
And you stop doing the, hey, don't fucking come here. just
I think they got the message at this point.
That's right.
They said we won't.
You know what? Won't.
But no, what I was going to say is, if you guys would be so kind, we are, I mean, right there. I know I've been saying Bobby Kelly and Ari Shaffir will come on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say it wouldn't hurt. Throw a few tweets out there. If you're a fan of those guys and want them on, throw a few tweets and say, hey, guys, you should be on the Blind Mike Project.
Yeah, send
And,
Ari-
you know who we did get that I find interesting?
What's that?
Who will be on next month, I believe. You know, I've told you about that show, Who Are These Podcasts?
Yeah,
Did I tell you that already?
I think so. Sounds familiar.
The guy Carl that hosts that show, will be on next month. So I'm
Hmm.
very excited to talk to him because he shits on. He basically likes shitting on a lot of the radio that we and podcasts that we like shitting on.
You know what would have been great? You know what would have been
What's
great
that?
if you had Ari Shaffir for that last segment.
That would have been nice.
That would have been.
I
Send him
wish.
that last segment. Be like, please help us.
Yeah, what do you think, Ari?
Help us punch up this segment, please.
Could you do some writing on this? We need more white jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I appreciate you guys subscribing to patreon.com/blindmike. Make sure you check out twotours.com and use promo code Mike for those of you that enjoy toking up a bit. And check out the new Sons of Liberty as well, our new pals. And give them as they said, they're a word of mouth podcast. So make sure you give them a 5-star review, all that good stuff. Support the people that support this show, for God's sake.
And while you're at it, why don't you listen to Very Good Show?
Yes.
New episode out now. Italian barbecues.
What can they expect on that?
So Mike went to a gay wedding over the weekend.
Okay.
So that took up a pretty good chunk of time.
Really?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it 2013? Why is that interesting to you?
We were just making, because he also had a sore throat. So it was just like a whole, he didn't come.
I bet you called him gay, didn't you?
No, yeah, probably. I would do that anyways, but
I bet you said he likes sucking dick, and that's why he got a sore throat, huh?
no.
I can hang with you boys.
Actually, I think I actually said me and Matt could probably get gay married. Because
That's what I meant to start the show with.
with gay marriage, huh?
Are you allowed to be here?
Here?
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
you've been having some trouble lately.
Oh,
The wife says she's all alone.
she's cooled off a little bit.
Cooled off. All right.
Well, you couldn't really get much hotter, so.
Okay, good. 'Cause I will say the comment you threw out there when she said, like, I feel like I'm alone or whatever, that made me feel like, oh, well, he's not long for this game.
Oh no, that was me. She's
Can
fine.
I give you a little piece of advice? What could help
Sure.
with that?
Yeah,
And I know these are probably the more fun things to do.
Mike, wait. Before you say this, would maybe, I don't know, saying, hey, every Tuesday at 5:30 we record, and then not being surprised by it when it's Tuesday at 5:30 I'm going to record.
Yes, that would help.
Yeah, no, I do that all the time. That's
Yes, that would help.
Okay.
But no, what I was going to say was, I think, like, if you were to sacrifice some of the fun stuff, meaning like Madawaska or Saco.
Mm-hmm.
Not that those happen a lot, but that would go a long way. And then you can throw out, had to miss this one, and then you get to go to the next one. You know?
Well, I haven't said this out loud. I got a plan for the next one.
No, I don't want to hear it.
No, I got a plan.
I don't want to be involved in whatever you're doing.
No, I'm gonna get my parents involved to watch the kids, and I'm
Bring
like,
her.
no,
Oh,
no,
I was gonna say, that'd be fun.
no, fuck no,
Okay.
no. It's too many weirdos with cameras. I don't trust people.
Sure.
I'm gonna send her because I was lucky enough that my family had a vacation house for like the last 70 years. I'm gonna send her up there with like a friend or two. She's fine. Kids are taken care of.
Okay.
I don't have to fucking worry about it.
It's not bad. That's not
pretty
bad.
advice in the comments. I think that's pretty good. I haven't pitched it yet. I need help.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Pretty good. But also, we just talk about Italian barbecues and how like stereotypical. Oh, there we go, right there.
What do we got?
I said like Italian barbecues on like movies and shit. They can never just have like.
Yeah, but Italians aren't real whites. I mean, they are now, but
Well,
their stereotypes aren't the same as ours.
I'm Northern Italian, so I'm still white.
As am I. When I say ours, I mean your traditional.
Got
Your
it.
traditional whites.
Yeah, just they always got
the pure bloods.
Oh, dude, that happened. I was delivering in a kitchen the other day, and some guy goes, "You can't deliver knives if you're not Italian." I go, "I am Italian." He goes, "No, you're not." And I go, "Okay." I just
Not our kind of Italian.
Yeah, he got so mad at me.
Like Henry Hill.
And then I go, my last name is Aconi. And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then he followed me around like apologizing. I was like, "We're fine, dude. Please leave me alone."
Anything else in the comments before we get out of here? Is there anything I need to answer, fess up to these people?
Any questions? Fire them off, people. Anything.
If they haven't been asking them, I think they're duly satisfied.
You're not my type of Italian, Pat Lawrence said.
He's damn right.
I'm a Tuscan.
Well, there's nothing to rent there.
I think that's it.
Alrighty, folks. Well, hope you enjoyed this one. I should say tomorrow night we do have a TV time capsule. I think that's a funny. It's a weird one, but I think it gets funny at least towards the end. I enjoyed it.
The last yes, yeah, that's exactly.
The last
correct.
10 minutes I found hysterical.
Me too.
So make sure you watch a TV time capsule tomorrow, and then like I said, it might be a weird schedule. Hopefully, we can do another one at the end of the week. But we'll figure it out. I don't know when I'm going to be back and everything. So we shall see, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
And I think to myself, wow, what a beautiful world.